It's 2024 and you're thinking, man, I need to level up my game. I need to make more money this year. But in order to do that, I need to have more opportunities available to me. One of the best ways to make more opportunities available to you is to get a certification that opens many, many doors. And in the world of project management, there is no certification more popular than the PMP certification, or the Project Management Professional certification. I'm Andrew Ramdial. I am the author of the world's best-selling PMP Study Guide, PMP Exam Prep Simplified, which we'll talk about later in the video. So let's get started in this video. Now, in this video, I want to cover a few points. Number one is, do I qualify for this exam? Because if you don't qualify, it doesn't make sense to watch the rest of the video. So we got to see, do I meet the minimum qualifications to even take the exam? The second thing we'll look at is, what does it cover and what is new for 2024? Is there anything new? So we'll take a look at that. Now, we also want to see, how am I going to study? What should I be studying to pass the actual test? So I'll give you recommendations on books, courses, and practice exams coming up soon. Now, and then what we'll do is we'll end the video off by talking about the secret to passing the exam. And no, it's not what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I got to read a bunch of books and memorize a bunch of stuff. No, not really. It's definitely not that. So it's not what you're thinking. Okay, let's get started with this. Now, the first thing I want to cover is going to be, the first question is, do I even qualify to take this exam? Now, keep in mind, the PMP is made by a company called PMI, the Project Management Institute. I went to their website a few minutes ago, pmi.org, and I literally copy-paste the requirements and I put it right here. So let's go through it. In order to qualify, you have to fall into either this top section or this bottom section here. Now, let's go through the top section. If you have what's equivalent to a bachelor's degree, now on their website, they say 4-year college/university degree. It doesn't have to be 4-year. For example, I had a bunch of certifications when I went for my bachelor's degree, so it took me about a year to get a bachelor's degree. So if you have what's considered a bachelor's degree, or the equivalent of, in any country that you're in the United States, it's called a bachelor's degree. If you have that, you're going to need to show 36 months of experience leading projects within the past 8 years. So right now, it is the beginning of 2024. If we go back 8 years, what would that be? 8 is 2016. So from 2016 to 2024, can you show me 3 years of projects that you were working on, that you were leading? Now, here's the thing. You don't have to be a project manager. You don't have to have the title of a project manager, but you would have had to been leading a team within the project. You couldn't just be a guy painting the wall and claim that you meet this requirement. But if you were leading a small team on any kind of project, and it doesn't matter what your job title is, as long as you were doing the work of a project manager, that counts. And you're going to need 35 hours of project management education or training, or if you're already CA PM certified, there are less experienced certification, that counts too. So keep in mind, you need 3 things. You need some kind of degree, a 4-year degree. Now, by the way, it's a minimum of that bachelor's. If you have master's and PhD, of course, that counts. So if you have a degree and you have your 3 years, minimum 3 years of experience, and you have your 35-hour course, you can definitely apply to take your exam in this set. Now, I want to point out before I move on, where it says 36 months of experience leading projects within the past 8 years, I want to point out that it doesn't have to be consecutive. You could show 2017, 2019, and 2022. That's 3 years right there. So keep in mind, it doesn't have to be consecutive. It doesn't have to be at the same company, as long as you got that 3 years. Now, if you have a high school diploma, or it depends on the country you're in, it may be called secondary school diploma. In the United States, we call it a high school diploma, or something that's the equivalent of, or the general equivalency diploma, or the GED here in the United States. So if you have something like that, you're going to have to show 60 months of experience within the past 8 years. Same thing. You don't have to have the title of a project manager, but you do have to be leading some part of the project, whether it's within the project, under that title of a project manager. Maybe somebody else was a project manager, but you have to be leading something, maybe a small team again. And of course, you still need that 35 hours of project management education, or if you have a CAPM, that counts too. So you need to fall into one of these pools here. You need to fall into either this pool or this pool at the bottom. Now, if you qualify to take the exam, absolutely great. Now you got to find out, okay, what are they going to be tested on? All right, what exactly are they going to be tested on? And right now, the exam that we are taking came out in 2021. I know it's 2024, and I know at the title it says PMP 2024 exam. So the first question I want to answer before I get into this here is there any exam changes? And the answer is no. This exam came out in 2021. Okay, this exam is based on what PMI calls the exam content outline. And you could download this. This is a PDF document that PMI makes available to all folks around the world that you can download, and it's going to tell you exactly what the test covers. Now, I did take an excerpt from that particular document. So keep in mind, is there any changes in 2024 for the PMP exam? The answer is no, no changes. If you've bought study materials from any time, because this exam came in 2021, so if you bought study materials from 2021, 22, 23, it all is still valid and it is still good, as this exam has not changed since 2021 because it came out in 2021. Now, from historical perspective, PMI changes this exam every 3 to 4 years. If this exam came out in January 2021, so is it going to change in 2024? It might, but not right now. So let me give you guys a heads up because a lot of people is going to ask this. When PMI is ready to change a PMP exam, they just don't change it just like that. In fact, they give you about 6 months to a year and they tell you, well, in 6 months from now or in a year from now or somewhere in between that, we're going to be changing this test. So if the PMP exam does change in 2024, and if it does, it's going to be late in 2024. PMI will let us know way ahead of time. They're just not going to drop it the next day. Like, oh, it's changing today. No one knew that. I do predict the exam will change in my prediction and in historical perspective. There was a 2018, there was a 2015, 2018, 21. Notice those 3 years of PMP exams. If this exam does change, it's probably going to change in the end of 2024 or in the beginning to mid 2025. So that's my prediction. Somewhere between October 24 to June 25 is I'm predicting my official predictions. I don't have any insider info. I'm predicting that's when the exam will change. If you're taking it before then, you're probably going to be okay. And again, if it does change, you will know. Follow, subscribe to the channel, please. I will let you know that the exam is changing. So keep in mind, it is based on the exam content outline from 2024. Now, in the exam content outline, PMI says it covers 3 types of project management. So here's what PMI said. So this comes from the exam content outline. It says about half of the examination will represent predictive project management, and the other half will be agile and hybrid. So if you're thinking, well, what do I need to study to pass this exam? Well, you're going to have to study predictive project management, or what's known as tradition or waterfall-based project management. You're going to have to study agile project management and the combination of those two called hybrid project management. Now, when it comes to the PMI material, if you want to go down the path and you want to study, well, Andrew, I want to study PMI material. What exactly is PMI published to help me study to pass their exam? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in books, courses, and practice exams. So let's get started with first thing up is going to be the books. Now, what I'm looking at here is PMI books. So at the top of the pyramid of PMI books that we should be considering studying for exam is going to be the PMBOK Guide 7th edition. So obviously that's this book I have right here. Notice that same book. So the PMBOK Guide 7th edition. Now here's what this book is. The PMBOK Guide 7th edition is a generic guide that tells you generic information about all types of projects. This book will give you the definition of a project. It'll give you values that a project manager should be doing. Things like engaging our stakeholders, building productive team, managing risks. And then it goes into different kinds of domains of how to plan a project, how to execute a project, and so on. So this is a generic book. It does not go into the specifics of agile. It does not go into the specifics of hybrid or predictive project management. To get that, you're going to need more books. So here we go. This is the first book that you may want to review. Then you want to review the Agile Practice Guide. This is going to give you what's going to be the other half of the test, which is going to be agile and hybrid methods are actually covered here. So this is a book you probably want to review also. And the last book you want to review is going to be a book with predictive project management from PMI. You have the PMBOK Guide 6th edition, which you're saying, Andrew, what about the 7th edition? You just showed me that. Yeah, this book, the 7th edition, does not replace the PMBOK Guide 6th edition. PMBOK Guide 6th edition has all the predictive project management methods, the 49 processes that you should be familiar with, not memorize for your exam. Now, if you're thinking, do I still need, here's what PMI did. Do I still need to read this? No. Let's get rid of this book. What you should be doing is what PMI did is PMI condensed the PMBOK Guide 6th edition, took all the great knowledge out of it, and replaced it with this book called a Process Group, a Practice Guide is what this book is. So if you're looking to take your PMP exam, going through the PMI study materials, you can do the PMBOK Guide 7th edition, the Agile Practice Guide, and the Process Group Practice Guide. Combined, you're probably looking at a few, maybe like 1,200 pages there. Combined, I think is what those books adds up to. Yeah, quite a lot of books there. Now, if you're thinking, oh my God, Andrew, that's a lot. And here's the thing, none of these books comes with practice questions. Some of these books are not easy to read, especially this one. The Process Group Practice Guide, or what was known as PMBOK Guide 6th edition. These books are not easy to read. They're written by aliens, and I think they're written for aliens too. Now, here's what I recommend. Now, what I recommend to do is to get my study guide. My study guide, which is this book, PMP Exam Prep Simplified. So here's what I did. I went through all the PMI materials. I went through all of it. The PMBOK Guide 7th edition, 6th edition. I went through the Agile Practice Guide, Process Group Practice Guide. I read it for you and I simplified it into Amazon's best-selling PMP Study Guide. Now, my study guide on Amazon that you can purchase, all right, on Amazon. This book is Amazon's #1 best-selling book in the PMP category. It's the best-selling PMP book on Amazon, and it's been like that for the last 3 years since this exam came out. It has over 1,700 reviews with a 4.6, sometimes 4.7 stars reviews. So over 1,700 reviews. It is the top-selling book. You could purchase this book on Amazon if you need it. Now, because Amazon doesn't ship this book in every country around the world, and people always ask me, Andrew, where can I get your book? It's not available in my country. You could get an ebook at TIAexams.com. There is a ebook that comes along that you can purchase. That's basically just a physical book. Now you're probably saying to yourself, why would I want to purchase your book? Okay, it's got great reviews, but you know, one of the great things that my book has that basically no other book has is that it includes a 35-hour class. So when you purchase this book, you're going to get a 35-hour project management course. So you don't have to go spend thousands of dollars on a boot camp or go spend more money on some e-learning class or something. This book gives you the actual text that you need to pass, and it gives you that 35-hour class. It is an e-learning class that I did, and it's one of the best-selling e-learning classes, and I'll show you that in a few seconds. Now, when it comes to the 35-hour class, remember the 3 requirements. You needed some kind of education, like a degree. You needed 36 months or 5 years experience, but you always needed a 35-hour course. How do you get your 35-hour course? To get the 35-hour course, there's 2 ways to do it. You have what's called live instructor-led training, and you have self-paced. Now, you make the choice, whichever works best for you. Now, which one would I prefer? I'm a guy that is always on the go. I'm always very busy. And if I don't have time, I may go for an instructor-led training if the price is right and if I can afford it. Instructor-led training, live instructor-led training is going to be one of the fastest way to get certified, but it does have some drawbacks. I'll mention that in a second. The other way is you can just study by yourself. Basically, you can purchase my study guide. You can purchase my e-learning course. And I'll talk more about the e-learning course that comes with the study guide here in a second. And just study by yourself. Sit in a quiet room, get yourself a nice hot cup of tea or coffee, and just start reading, start listening to the videos, and study. Now, let's talk about live instructor training. Some of us learn best by having a live instructor one-on-one or group training with other folks. Now, if you're doing that, a couple of things I'm going to recommend. Now, I am the owner of the Technical Institute of America, right? This is my business, my company. I'm the CEO of this business. And of course, I'm going to say, hey, come to me if you want to take live training. But if you're not in the United States and our schedule doesn't work for you, or maybe the price doesn't work for you, look around in your country. A couple of things I'll let you know is ensure you know the company. Live instructor training is a tricky thing. And here's the reason why. It's a real hit and miss. Some organizations really doesn't put in the time and effort to give you good materials, to vet the instructors, to ensure that the instructors have a good flow and is using the right materials in the correct way. Listen, a lot of us are good project managers, but not a lot of us are good instructors. Not because you know something well doesn't make you a good instructor. Take that from me, guys. I know I've been hiring instructors for the last 15 years or so. So something there. Check the reviews about the business. Ask about who's going to be your teacher. Remember, it's not about where you take the class. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you take a course because PMI is the one that's going to certify you. Your objective is just to pass the test. Ask about the teacher. You know what really matters when you take a live class? The teacher themselves, him or her. Now, what I recommend is if you're looking for a live class, check out my website, tiaedu.com. That is Technical Institute of America. We have live classes every single week here in the United States for the PMP exam. It is priced incredibly well, way below what some people are charging thousands of dollars for God knows what. My live class will come with a free exam retake. God forbid you don't pass it. It comes with unlimited retakes of the course for up to a year. And it comes with all my materials, books, videos, practice exams, and a whole bunch of stuff. Now, self-pace. Sometimes I do use self-pace to study for quite a lot of my certifications. If you're looking for a self-pace, you can get my physical book or the ebook of this guide. And don't forget the self-pace, make sure to get yourself a course. This book here, by reading this, it doesn't give you 35 hours. You need to go through a 35-hour class to get you a certificate. Now, the course that comes with this book is basically the same course that I have on Udemy. If you don't want to purchase the study guide and you just want to go straight to the video course, you can go to Udemy and you can purchase the course from there. Just search for my name. You'll see it there. It is the number one, my Udemy course, here it is, and I just literally took this out a few minutes ago, is the number one bestseller on Udemy for the PMP exam. As you guys can see, it is ranked the bestseller right there. It's mind-blowing. My course on Udemy, boom, has mind-blowing numbers. 228,000 students have enrolled in this course. Over 68,000 people has given this a 4.7 stars out of 5. So people really enjoy it. Go read the reviews on it. I don't want to keep hyping up my course and saying it's all great. I think the numbers speak for themselves in terms of how much people buy it and how much people are enjoying it. 68,000 reviews, that is an insane amount. That's a crazy number to even think about. The country I come from has about 700,000 or 800,000 people. Yeah, the country, I'm from Guyana. It's a really small country. So this is like a third of the population. To me, that's mind-blowing to know that so many people around the world, 228,000 people around the world has purchased this course and has used this course to get them certified. Okay, so we have some study materials. We have the books, right? You have this. I mean, you could go down the path and read. Once again, you could go down the path and read all the PMI books. Or you can read my study guide. It's condensed more. It has a whole bunch of practice questions, by the way, that the PMI books does not. You have your 35-hour class. Either you're going to do a live instructor training or you're going to do a self-paced course. The next thing you want to do now is to take a bunch of practice tests. Now, when it comes to practice tests, you want something that's similar to the exam, and I'm going to recommend my practice tests. The PMP Exam Simulator from our website, it's tiaexams.com. This one, you do not purchase this until you are ready to use it. It comes with a 60-day access to 6 mock exams. These are going to be some of the closest to the actual tests, and here's what makes my simulator unique. I know there's a lot of PMP practice tests out there, but my own is one of the only ones that comes with video explanations in every single one of the questions. So every one of the questions, I am going to give you a video explanation of why A is right, why B is wrong, why C is wrong, why you should, this is how you have to think in order to pass. So check this out. You get 60-day access to the simulator. I would highly recommend you get this after you finish studying or when you're almost finished studying. Now, if you're looking, if you can do everything electronic, I do have a bundle on the website that includes my e-learning course, the ebook, and the simulator. It's a really low price for all three things. All right, so keep that in mind. So get your PMP Exam Simulator, one of the best things going. Now, let's get to the secrets of passing. All right, I know a lot of you guys probably asked that question. Andrew, what's the secret to passing? Well, the secret to passing this exam is the mindset. It is not about memorizing a bunch of stuff. If you go through this book, you go through any of the PMI books or anybody's study guide, and you're seeing all these terms, you're seeing all these processes, all these ceremonies in Agile and so on, you don't need to memorize it, but you do need to understand it. You see, this exam is a scenario-based test. What does that mean? Well, they're going to put you in a variety of scenarios. They're going to say that the team members are unhappy with the progression of the project and the team members has stopped working. What should the project manager do? Expect many questions where they give you a scenario and they say, what should you do? In order to answer that, you need to have the correct mindset. Now, the mindset is not something I can teach you in this video. This video is already pretty long. It's about don't understand anything. It's about don't memorize anything. It's about understanding. That's the key to passing. What do you do in what scenario? When I wrote this book in 2020, more like 2020 is when I wrote it. When this book came out in 2021, one of the things that it brought along was the PMP mindset. I created the PMP mindset when I wrote this study guide to help people pass, and it has been revolutionary, we could say, in helping people pass. Don't take my word for it. Look at all the forums. You can go do your own checks, go do your own reviews, go do your own research. Look at all the comments in my videos. Join me on those live streams and you'll see what people say. Passing this exam is more of a mindset than it is memorizing anything. Keep that in mind. Understand things, memorize things. Now, if you're probably saying, Andrew, I don't want to buy anything from you. You look like you need more hair on your head. By the way, guys, what do you guys think? Oh my God, it's looking horrible. Maybe you're thinking that guy needs to get hair implants. I'm thinking of that. I might have to agree with you on that one. I want to purchase things from other people. That's cool. That's fine with me. But at least join me every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time live here on YouTube for question and answers. Every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, for the last 3 years now. I can't believe it's been going on for 3 years. I have done practice questions with all my students, and it doesn't have to be my students. Anybody could join. I've done free practice questions, and I do tons of giveaways. Every month, I give away free classes to help you maintain your PMP when you get it. Free courses in Microsoft, sometimes Microsoft Project, sometimes PMBOK Guide 6th edition. Sometimes I'm going to be giving away Agile courses and all types of stuff. Join me every month. I do a free giveaway the first Tuesday of the month. And of course, if you have any questions, listen, if you're self-studying, you're not alone. I'm here to answer any questions you have. Just come and join me. And I'm going to be doing practice questions with you every one of these sessions. At the end, I do about 10 practice questions, and I show you the mindset of how to pass the tests. Okay, so it's 2024. I've just given you a full layout there of how to pass your exam. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on how to pass your tests, such as, hey, how long does it take to pass this exam? How much time should I be dedicated? What's a good study schedule? And so on. All of those videos coming up soon. So if you enjoyed it, if you will be enjoying or hoping to enjoy those videos, or you liked what you saw today, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.